Hey guys, welcome back to Tasty Treats with Tiff. Today I'm going to show you how to make this delicious no-bake strawberry cheesecake. So sit back and let's get going. Alright, so we're going to start with our crust. Today we're going to be using an 8-inch springform pan. We're going to be needing 1 1/4 cups of any type of graham cracker crust crumbs, 1/3 cup of melted butter, and 1/4 cup of sugar. So go ahead and mix that all together, and I'm going to speed pass through this, and I'm going to show you how I like to add it to the pan. Alright, so now that that's all mixed together and combined very well, you're going to take your pan. You can really use any pan, but the reason I'm using an 8-inch springform pan is because I'm going to be taking this cake out of the pan into a box for a birthday. So I went ahead and lined it with plastic wrap to help take it out and transfer it to the box. So go ahead and take your crumbs and add it to your pan. And if you watched my first cheesecake video, you'll know that I like to use a cup to smash it down at the bottom. You can use anything, a spatula, but I have found that a cup with a little bit of oil to make sure it doesn't stick to the bottom of the cup works wonders. So go ahead, pack that down in there, and I'm going to show you how to start the cheesecake. Okay, now that your crust is done, go ahead and stick it in the fridge while we make the cheesecake mixture. You want to make sure your crust is nice and firm, so that way when we're done with the mixture and you add it, it's not going to combine with the crust. So what we're going to start with today is 16 ounces of cream cheese. When you mix this together, you can either do it where it's nice and creamy or where it has a little bit of chunk to it. Here in the South, a lot of people like cream cheese, and since this is one of my most recommended recipes, I think it's just because I leave a little bit of a chunk in it, and when you take a bite, you have that extra explosion of cream cheese. I'm not sure, but it is really, really good. So I'm going to speed through this, get it all mixed, and I'll show you the rest of the ingredients in a sec. Alright, so as you can see here, it's not completely creamy, which is the way I like it, a little bit of chunk. And I'm going to add two of the small containers of Cool Whip. I bought them just from my local store. You could do homemade Cool Whip or you could do store-bought. It's completely up to you, your preference. I just used what I had. And you're just going to add this directly to the mixture and mix that up before you add the next ingredient. Alright, now that that's all mixed and combined, go ahead and add your next ingredient, which is 1 cup of sugar. Just remember not to add any more than this unless you were doubling the recipe. Considering this is already a very, very sweet cheesecake, too much more sugar and you might be in a sugar coma. Just saying, forewarning, you have been warned. Next, add 1 teaspoon of vanilla and then mix that all up, and I will see you in a minute when we add it to our crust. Okay, so now that you're done with the blender, go ahead and get your spatula and make sure you scrape around the sides of the bowl and scrape at the bottom of the bowl, because sometimes sugar and the cream cheese like to stick to the bottom of it, and you want to make sure you get all the excess up. And then you're going to add it to your pan. Go ahead, when you do this, do it in a couple scoops at a time, because this is a very thick and heavy batter and it will fill all the way to the top. Once you fill it, go ahead, smear it out, tap it a couple times, make sure there's no air bubbles. And instead of the fridge, you're actually going to put it in the freezer. This cheesecake, yes, it is a no-bake cheesecake, but it is meant for the freezer to stay firm because there's no baking involved, so it's not going to stay up and hold up once you remove it from the pan. If you plan on putting toppings on it, you can put the syrup on it as you're about to see in the next slide, but any fruit of the such, that will freeze, so make sure you only put that on when you're serving it. So I'm going to fast forward and show you the decorating. So what I'm going to be decorating with today is strawberry syrup that I just bought from my local store. You can either make it or buy it, up to you, and some strawberries. What I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to be covering the whole entire top of the cheesecake with this, but I'm going to be making a border so that way it doesn't overflow as much, because this is a very runny syrup that I'm using, and but some of the thicker ones it's a lot easier to work with, but this is actually one of my favorites, so you know, there's that. But go ahead and fill this up and then add the strawberries, and I'm going to show you the finished product right after this. And here it is. This delicious, easy to make, no bake strawberry cheesecake is going to be the hit at any party you decide to bring it to. Thanks for sticking around and watching. I had so much fun making this, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Remember, follow me on all my social media accounts. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, so that way you never miss when I decide to add a crazy add into my menu change. Until next time, I'll see you later. Bye!